wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tiz.
Good morning, DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy.
Good morning.
Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about this Baltimore bridge that collapsed.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys as much information as we have. Now, this happened at 1:30 in the morning, so the story is still developing. I want to remind the folks on YouTube as they watch us throughout the day that this is the update as of 6 a.m. So be prepared for more updates, possibly a press conference. But what we know as of now, they're calling it a possible mass casualty incident after a ship collided with the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Again, that happened at 1:30 this morning. Caused the bridge to collapse. They say as many as 7 to 20 people. Some people are saying 7, some people are saying 20 that were on the bridge at the time. Obviously, the water is cold. They're saying it's about 30 degrees. That water that folks are possibly in. Now they're trying to figure out if they're able to rescue these folks. It's still dark outside, so they're waiting, on the sun to come up. So we haven't got any updates on if anybody's been able to get pulled out of the water. They do know several vehicles were on the bridge, including a large tractor trailer. They also said that they believe some workers were also on the bridge as well. So typically this bridge is a pretty busy bridge. So thankfully it wasn't in the middle of the day, where hundreds and hundreds of cars were there as well. But still definitely thoughts and prayers to these folks and hopefully we'll get some answers here shortly.
Yeah, they said a ship crashed into it, right?
Yeah, they said that ship sank. Yeah, they said that ship sank. But I mean, they should have protocol for things like that, right? When it's a certain height. Now, I know it was a container ship and it was passing through, but usually they have protocols with those type of ships. If that does to happen or a ship passes a certain area, they stop that ship immediately. So I'm pretty surprised that ship was able to hit that bridge still,
Yeah.
Anybody, all your people good, Jess? You ain't heard that, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay. I was watching the news and then me and my mother was talking about it. They built that in 77 though. And it was a guy, he was actually on there. He was saying I actually was here when they built it. And I was just on that bridge 10 hours ago.
Wow.
And, he transported people to work on that bridge every day. He still drives, but yeah.
Now, what that bridge connects what and what? Do you know?
Nope, I actually do not know.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was one of the major bridges, like how we have the Verrazano, George Washington, like it's connected.
It is 1.6 miles long though.
But when you hear stories like this, the first thing you think, because remember a couple of weeks ago, I'm not going to say no names, but somebody in our group chat sent us a very famous bridge here in New York.
Right.
And they kept, the caption was the bridge is falling apart.
You can see it.
I kept looking. I looked at that video 6-7 times.
You couldn't see nothing?
No.
I couldn't
it was
see
breaking from the bottom.
How we know it just wasn't debris falling?
Okay, because they were doing construction.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I ain't seen no construction being done, but I'm just saying it looked like it was cracking from the bottom.
Yeah.
It was breaking.
So when I saw that video and then I hear this story this morning, I'm like,
it's crazy.
Well, what's the reason? I just don't want to think that bridges are collapsed. So when I hear that the ship crashed into it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
It makes sense.
You know what I mean? It ain't just like the bridge is just falling.
Right.
Yeah, well, and I also want to let you know, to answer your question, Envy, you wanted to know what it connects to. It says it serves the outermost crossing of the Baltimore Harbor, and it is essentially link of the Interstate 695 or the Baltimore Beltway.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of traffic. There's going to be a lot of detouring. People ain't going to be able to get to work. People ain't going to be able to travel if they're going up and down, I guess, from New York down there. You know how they travel that route to go to the south. That might be difficult. But let's jump into Trump.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So Trump update, as per usual, trying to keep it with all these cases. Now, Donald Trump, yesterday, they decided to the appeals court reduced his bond from $464 million to $175 million. Take a listen.
An appeals court reducing the bond in his civil fraud case by more than half to $175 million. The trial judge had set it at more than $450 million.
What they do is they do election interference, which is court cases, and let's try and tie him up, and let's take as much of his money as possible. I respect the appellate division for substantially reducing that ridiculous amount of money.
With no lenders willing to cover the staggering penalty while he appeals, Mr. Trump was facing the prospect of New York's Attorney General seizing his iconic properties and bank accounts as soon as today, but now has 10 days to come up with the far smaller bond. Mr. Trump saying he has the cash.
Are you going to start putting money into your campaign?
Well, first of all, it's none of your business, frankly, but I might.
Let me tell you something, man. Donald Trump is above the law. Until someone shows me otherwise, Donald Trump is above the law. Trump has unlocked levels of privilege that I have never seen. Like, this surpasses being white. It surpasses being rich. Surpasses being president. Is it because it's a combination of all three? Are people scared of the wrath of him because they are anticipating him being the next president? The law does not apply to Donald Trump the way it applies to anybody else. Anybody else.
I told y'all that yesterday, that they weren't going to take his properties and they were going to reduce it. But also, Trump is doing this with billionaires that also do real estate, right? I am almost 100% positive that there's a lot of them that probably did the same exact thing. That's probably what they did. The fact that they're shooting at Trump is for different reasons. But I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there that's going to make sure that they help Trump because they're not going to want to see the same thing happen to them.
Well, attorney Letitia James said that the 464 civil judgment still stands. So this is just, about the bond you have to pay. That has not been reduced. So they'll have to look and see, what that looks like when it goes to appeals court. So again, the reduction is about the bond that needed to get paid, not the civil judgment. So he still owes a 464 million. We don't have time to get into it. I'll get into it in the next because there's more update with his criminal case that will start on April 15th. And so I'll just get into that with the second hour.
And they extended his deadline for another 10 days. He gonna get that money.
Yeah, he's gonna get that money. He already said he'll pay.
Yeah, he said he got it. He said he got it. Ain't no problem.
Yeah, he said he got 500 in cash, right?
He said
that's right.
I think he gave a thumbs up on his way out and was like, I got it. I'm gonna pay in 10 days.
Lord have mercy.
And that is front page news. All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. Let us know how you're feeling. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. What up, Tiz?
What's going on, DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy, Jess Hilarious.
Good morning.
Mm-hmm. Now let's start off with Trump. I know we closed out with Trump last hour, so let's start off with Trump this hour.
Close out with Trump, starting out with Trump, just to give another update on his first criminal case. Now, he was asking for that to be delayed, but that is going to start the trial on April 15th. Take a listen.
Amid news of the bond decision going public, Trump was in a Manhattan courtroom, learning that the criminal trial involving hush money payments to former adult film star Stormy Daniels would begin the middle of next month. Trump's lawyers argued the case should be delayed or dismissed, saying thousands of documents were improperly introduced this month. That was rejected by Judge Juan Merchan, who said you are literally accusing the Manhattan DA's office of prosecutorial misconduct and trying to make me complicit in it, and you don't have a single case to cite. Trump would be the first former president to ever face a criminal trial.
I would have no problem testifying. I didn't do anything wrong.
So what are they trying to move this up so they can do it before election?
I don't want to make any assumptions, but looks like it's definitely getting moved up. So folks can look at that and take it as you will. But certainly, obviously, like you just heard, the first time a former president will be having a criminal case. He wants to testify. There was a lot of commentary saying, should he or should he not testify? Would he make it better or not? And just to remind folks, this is about Stormy Daniels and the $130,000 payment to her. And so Michael Cohen will be testifying. It's going to be a lot of drama going on with this case for sure. So we'll see what it looks like.
All right. Well, let's jump right into DeSantis and this new bill.
Yeah, so a new bill, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is banning social media for kids under 14 without parent permission. A lot of folks may agree with this. Take a listen.
The bill signed into law by the governor bans social media accounts for children under age 14. It also requires parental permission for 15 and 16-year-olds to have social media. The governor said the new law asserts parental rights and is in the best interests of children.
The way this bill is structured, it is not engaging in any regulation of speech. It is basically identifying functionality, that is causing harms, the addictive features. And so that's laid out in the bill. We worked hard with the legislature because at the end of the day, we're not just here spinning our wheels. We're not just trying to get a photo. We want something that actually sticks and actually has a positive impact.
Florida's House Speaker goes a step further, calling the new law a matter of public safety for children.
I love it.
I do too.
I don't have a problem with that at all. If parents want their kids to have social media, they can still do it, but they just, that way your parents know, or the parents know that their kid is opening an account. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't think people understand what social media is doing to folks' brains, and it's not just kids, it's adults. You know what I mean? It's ruining people's comprehension skills. It's making people's emotional IQs low. Folks care about their relationship with social media more than they do with real people.
It depresses people.
Absolutely.
Pushes suicide.
Anxiety, so many other things. Let me give you a little bit more about this bill. It is called HB3, and it directs social media companies to delete the existing accounts of those who are under 14. So it's not even just the new accounts that are started, but they're going to go back in time and delete those. Now, companies that fail to do so can be sued on behalf of the child who creates an account on the platform. The minor child could be awarded up to $10,000 in damages, according to the bill. Companies that are found in violation of this law can also be held liable $50,000 per violation. So there's some consequences with folks, the companies that are not complying with this.
I'm not mad at it.
And it's the craziest thing if you really think about it, right? If you have a child can't open up a bank account until 18.
Yeah.
But you can open up social media at 14, so you can't start putting your savings in a bank until you're 18, but you can open up a social media account at any age? That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
What do you guys think about, though, like if the kid because when you open up an account, you can just put in any date. Do you think that that's really stopping the children?
I mean, I can't wait till they put some real rules and regulations on social media so these kids can't get on it at all. But I'm just as concerned about the adults. Because people wake up every day trying to prove something to strangers they don't know and a bunch of bots. It's lame. Like I don't know, man. I'll be happy when they unplug all this stuff.
And then you can see who needs therapy and who doesn't.
You can absolutely see who needs therapy and who doesn't. You can all your insecurities are on full display on social media, and you be sitting back looking like that person needs to go do some internal work on themselves. It don't got nothing to do with no external circumstances around them. That person needs to go do some work.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you, Tiz.
Absolutely.
And make sure you follow at Teslin Figueroa on all social media platforms and subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.